So this next piece of evidence, or evidence 3, is artificial selection through selective breeding to change species. Now, this is a crazy topic right now, and we could really go into a lot of really cool stuff that's happening as far as genetic engineering and everything for how, changing genotypes eventually down the line, could that change human evolution and where we're at within our human lineage. But for now, we're going to stick with the classic examples. So artificial selection is when you are going to repeatedly select for traits that are to human liking. So this, an example of this might be something like planting a tomato garden and each season being like, ooh, that's a bigger tomato garden. I'm going to take seeds from that tomato and plant it so that I can have big tomatoes next year. And then the year after that, the following season, you take more tomato seeds from the biggest tomato of that year, and so forth until you get really big tomatoes in your garden that you have chosen for. And so this is all about the human selection. So it's repeatedly selecting for and breeding individuals most suited for human use or aesthetic. I want you to think about the implications of artificial selection and our new capabilities of genome editing, and why the ethics behind that is so crazy. But then selective breeding is when you are going to selectively mate plants or animals to get a desired phenotype. So they're very, very similar, but let's look at them. So examples. The first one that we're looking at here is corn, right? When we first started off with corn, or what we called teosinte, right? Like what the Native Americans might call maize or something, was not exactly something that people always wanted to consume. It really did not taste very good. It was very, very hard to consume, hard to digest. And as we moved through, as humans planted only the, what's the word I want to use here? So humans are going to plant only the, let's say, plumpest teosinte kernels. And so over time, with selection every season, you then have the modern corn arising. Now, there's an example here that I'd like you to try and interpret. This is going to be the selective breeding of dogs. And so if you look at the slides that I provided you here, right, there is a video clip that's 5 minutes long. And I'd like you to try and just right over here give your own description of how we went from the common ancestor of the wolf all the way to these crazy different dogs that naturally, I mean, especially when you think about the bulldog, right? Like this guy, you can't even really be born naturally. Most of these are born via C-section because their heads are so big. So watch that video and then write down your own example, and we'll come back for evidence number 4.